Congratulations, seriously, because by clicking on this video, you've already done something most people never do. You admitted that something in your life needs to change. Most people stay distracted, they stay comfortable, they keep waiting for one day. But if you're here right now, part of you is tired of living the same cycle. The problem is, most people try to fix their life with motivation, and motivation dies fast. That's why people restart every Monday. That's why people quit after 2 weeks. That's why most self-improvement never lasts. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to actually fix your life by building systems that stick. Not temporary motivation, not fake productivity, real systems that keep working even when you don't feel like it. In my last video, I talked about the 4 stages of getting your life together. And if you haven't watched it yet, I highly recommend you do to find out what stage you're in right now. I'll link it in the description below. As a short recap, the 4 stages are awareness, experimentation, friction, and integration. Most people never make it past stage 3, not because they're lazy, but because they rely on motivation instead of systems. So this video is about how to actually move through those stages without constantly falling back into old patterns. So I want you to sit down without any distractions and answer 3 questions. And I mean really answer them. Not one sentence, not vague answers. Be brutally honest. Question 1. What sucks in my life right now? What drains your energy? What stresses you out? What habits are ruining your confidence? Maybe your sleep is terrible. Maybe your apartment is always messy. Maybe you waste 6 hours a day scrolling. Maybe you constantly break promises to yourself. Write it all down. Question 2. What do I want my life to look like? Not what social media is telling you to want. What do you actually want? What kind of person do you want to become? What would your ideal day look like? How would you feel waking up in the morning? And then the 3rd question, how do I realistically get there? Not the perfect plan, but a realistic one. Because your life changes when specific goals become actions. And most people stay stuck because they never get clear enough. You can't build systems for a life you haven't defined. So take a pen, put your answers on paper, and believe me, you'll get clarity. Now here's where people mess up. They try to change everything at once. New diet, new routine, wake up at 5 a.m., work out every day, read 50 pages, meditate, journal. And for a few days, it feels amazing. But then life hits and the whole thing collapses. So instead, start small. Pick 1 or 2 things. That's it. Maybe fixing your sleep schedule, going to the gym 3 times a week, reading instead of scrolling before bed. Simple, because consistency beats intensity every single time. And this is important. Stick to it for 30, 60, or even 90 days. Long enough for it to stop feeling new. Because systems are built through repetition, not excitement. You don't need a perfect life overnight. You need proof that you can trust yourself. And every small promise you keep to yourself builds that trust back. So what are the 2 things you want to do? Then comes the hardest stage, friction. This is where motivation disappears. Your habits feel heavy, you don't see results, and your brain starts looking for excuses. This is where most people quit. But in order to grow, you need repetition. And if you want your systems to survive, you need to make them easier to follow. So here are a few things that help massively. First, get accountability. Tell another person what you're trying to do, because it's harder to quit when someone else expects consistency from you. Second, break tasks into smaller tasks. Don't tell yourself, I'm going to completely fix my life today. That's overwhelming. Tell yourself, I'm going to clean my desk. I'm going for a 10-minute walk. I'm going to study for 20 minutes. Small actions reduce resistance. Third, keep your environment clean, because your environment affects your mind more than you realize. A cluttered room creates mental noise. A chaotic environment makes discipline harder. So make good habits easier and bad habits harder. And if you want a deeper breakdown on how to create habits that actually last, I made an entire video on that already, so check it out. Because honestly, most people don't fail because they're incapable, they fail because they don't have systems. So you really have to put the work in, work the systems, and after some time, you'll get where you want to be. Eventually, if you stick with it long enough, things start to feel natural. That's stage 4, integration. You're no longer forcing yourself to improve. It becomes part of who you are. But this is also where people get complacent. They stop growing because things are finally good enough. Don't do that, because self-improvement isn't a finish line. There's always another layer, another habit to improve, another distraction to remove, another system to optimize. Review your life regularly. Ask yourself, what's helping me right now? What's holding me back? What no longer serves me? Because the goal isn't perfection. The goal is building a life that keeps moving forward. At the end of the day, fixing your life is not one giant decision. It's a series of small systems repeated consistently until they become who you are. Real change looks boring from the outside, but those small daily actions, they completely change your future. So don't focus on becoming a completely different person overnight. Focus on building systems that your future self can actually sustain. And remember, you do not rise to the level of your motivation. You fall to the level of your systems. So start small, stay consistent, and keep going. Because your life can look completely different a year from now if you stop restarting.